여러분 안녕하십니까? 우리가 지금 4월 29일 강의를 비디오로 녹음하고 있습니다. 여러분이 여기 앉아 계신 것처럼 생각하고 강의를 할 테니까 여러분도 또 직접 우리 저를 보고 있는 것처럼 생각해가지고 우리 이 어려운 때지만 하여튼 최선을 다해서 해봅시다. 우리가 지난번에 물론 다른 교수님께서 강의를 하셔서 제 강의는 처음이지만 메디컬 터미놀로지가 실제적으로는 처음은 아니죠, 강의가. 하여튼 그러나 제가 생각하고 있는 범위 내에서 또 제가 생각하는 걸 여러분한테 알려주기 위해서 하는 거니까 그렇게 하시기 바랍니다. 그리고 제가 지난번에 실라버스를 보내드렸죠. 실라버스 중에서 그 넘버 2 편지가 있는 이거를 보시면서 시작했으면 좋겠습니다. 자, 근데 실라버스 시작하기 전에 메디컬 터미놀로지에 대해서 얘기를 해드리려고 합니다. 그리고 지난번 학기나 마찬가지라 또 여러분이 또 영어로 강의하는 거를 또 도움이 될 것 같아서 영어로 강의를 할 테니까 여러분이 천천히 들어보시기 바랍니다. So medical terminology is the class to give you introduction to the medicine for the first time. So terminology is one. This gives you a very good idea about the medicine, what the medicine is, because this tells you names. The second, once you go through this one, you will have basic medical knowledge class. In other words, anatomy, physiology, and biochemistry. So this is the second way to learn medicine. The third, when you go for the higher level, you will have clinical medicine. So that means internal medicine, pediatrics, surgery, ENT, etc. So when you go through this number 1 gate to understand what's happening, then you will be much easier to read the books on anatomy, physiology, biochemistry. And once you learn, then it will be much easier to learn textbook of internal medicine, pediatrics. So this is the way I see it. However, these days, medical lectures are given by topic rather than by system. So you will learn about terminology as well as anatomy as well as disease and conditions. So either way is fine to learn medicine, but now I found out that the steps, what we are taking, it's sort of important way. So I hope that you will buy this book. And this is the book I found. It has everything you will learn for the next 4 years, 5 years. What do you mean by that? Well, this one gives you framework, what system is, how to read medical textbook and so forth. So once you learn this book from page 1 to last, you will be much easier to read this one and to read the next. So the first gate is like first button. when you do anything, when you put right button first, the next one will come automatic. If you don't do right, everything goes wrong. So again, to give you an idea that, yep, you spend money to buy the book. And you start reading it. When you read along with my lecture, you will probably have half of the book you go through and learn. And what I did 50 years ago, when I studied medicine, when I read book, well, this is my book. This is going to be my knowledge going to be written in this book. So I thought medical textbook is like a Bible. So as you read, you write on it, you underline it, you make your comment on it, and summarize the textbook at the end, at the chapter. So when you then have this book, and you will have perfect, good information. So that's the reason I recommend you read a book. If you listen to my lecture only, it's not enough. Maybe just introduction of the introductions. So by reading book, and I hope that you will get some ideas. So I emphasize that find your book and you write your name on it and so forth. Now, when I looked at this book, I found out this is much better than textbook in English. There are equivalent textbook written in America, and its title is Language of Medicine. But that's not the book, and this is the real good book. That book in English, it's written for everybody, nurses and technicians and clinical work, and so it's written very easy. But this is written by the doctor, and written by so many doctors, and especially you will see 지재근 선생님, I call him because he's about 6 years senior to my year, and I was able to meet and talk all along my medical school, and later was meeting him once a year when I come by to Jeju and go back to Los Angeles, and I was able to meet him, talk to him. But unfortunately he passed away maybe 3 years ago. So still I love his book because his completeness, his good written book, and so I hope that you will be able to understand. This book is written in different sections. The main system, for instance, cardiovascular system, it's written first, terms of anatomy and physiology and so forth. So this gives you ideas of it. And then the second part, also he introduces clinical terms, symptoms, diagnosis, and name of the diseases in the cardiovascular system. And as well as he included name of the therapy and name of the diagnostic tools. So that's the reason I think this book will give you very good start to understand the medicine. So I'm so happy to meet him in paper, and also I'm so happy to give his ideas and to introduce his ideas and so forth. So that is about this book. And second part is, I hope also you get medical dictionary. When I was young, we had only book, so medical dictionaries, paper. It comes in different ways. And when I came in and I looked at my library of our medical school, we have 지재근 선생님 medical dictionaries, Korean, English, English, Korean, this much thick book. That I found a very good book. But later, this is the third edition, and this book says there is application, there is app you can buy. So when you look at this textbook, first the cover inside, I think there is Academia 의학사전. So this one, you may purchase it much cheaper, I bet. And that is the way you can get your application, and then you have in your handphone. So that's the way you can get some quick references and quick information. So either way, you can buy old medical dictionary, or you can buy fancy ways. So I hope that you will get 2 textbook, medical dictionary. Because medical dictionary will be used forever as long as you practice medicine. You need it. How come? Well, that's the second part I was going to tell you. Being a medical student in Korea, you have difficulties. The terms, medical terminology comes in both Korean, English. So each one has different term. So you have to read, you have to study both, double. Now, Korean also sometimes have 2 different names. English sometimes also have two names. The reason is English itself comes from Latin and Greek. So you need to learn Latin and Greek in terms of learning it. And also Korean is also Chinese character, Hangul, and plus Hangul. So this is the kind of double and quadruple study you have to do that. So that's why you need dictionaries. Sometimes I look it up and so forth. So a good example is sudo. What is a sudo? Sudo is the name of Webama. So it has 2 names, just one disease, virus disease. But also in English, you call it chickenpox. But also when you look it up, chickenpox, it has also another name for the same thing, varicella. So you can see how complicated that concern is. Now, this textbook, being Korean, published, it has Korean names. Many of them I understand, but I probably do not remember or cannot make it same ways. So, Korean, English, Hangul, Hangul, Latin, Greek. So these are the terms you need to learn. So that is the point. Another point I need to give you an idea is terminology is study of naming. You name it. Name and naming. Well, what's wrong with naming? Well, it becomes very important. when you learn science. Why? Science is a way of naming. When you look at the cat and dogs, wow, we call it 고양이 and 개. Well, when you name it, well, it gives you an idea it belongs to the mammals, 포유동물, and it also belongs to warm blood animals. In contrast to that, you name 개구리, and then, oh, this belongs amphibian, and this is cold blood. So when you name something, you classify. So it's an important part. Classification is so important in medicine. Why? Because when you look at the book, index. When you look at the book, first things what you look at is index. So context, what I meant. So when you look at the context, it is written by chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, and so forth. So when it is written in that way, they categorized chapters. So when you make a classification, two things happen. One, it gives you much better and clear idea. It gives you something. When you are in Seoul now, it gives you an idea how you get to this classroom. Step by step. It gives you which train, which airplane you have to take it, which bus you have to take it to come to this class. So, same way, when you name it and classify it, it gives you idea. Naming is so important because when you name thing and then you are stuck with it. So a good example is here, Indian, name of Indian. Indian. So let me give you brief ideas of Indian. So I brought this one for you, just for fun. You have seen it last year, but I'm using it for different purposes. So we call it this flute Indian flute. Indian flute. You know. Immediately you think Indian flute is Asian Indian, because that's the India we learned. That's the reason what we learned. However, India is actually another name for the American Indian. This flute, I name it, they name it Indian flute. How come? Well, you know that why they call that American continents, the people in the continents, they call them Indian, because they thought the land was India rather than New World. So anyhow, I want you to enjoy this little flute. is when a young man plays his book in front of his lady lover's window, and he plays day and night, night and day, until the lady opens the window. So this one works every time when you do that. So again, I'll come back to the flute later to give you a different musical taste. But so come back again. India. So once you named it India, it got stuck. There's no way to change it. So the same thing. 별명. You have maybe different 별명. So when you have somebody name you and you're stuck with it, 꺽다리, 난쟁이, 오줌 싸개, such ways. So naming is such a very important part. When you put wrong name, you got in trouble. So job of naming actually began at the time of creation. When Adam was created, what he did first? Name things. This is a cat, this is a dog. How did he know? Well, that's the story in the Bible. So again, I'm giving you ideas. Naming gives you classification. It's a way of science. So when you name things, you got stuck like this wrong way, Indian. So it is very important to understand terms, the definition of terms. And also some changes and so forth. But again, I'll come back to this one. So I told you so far what is the terminology is. That's important. Second, I know our learning terms in double and quadruple. So you will memorize these, and the more memorize, the better. Because these terms you're going to use forever, as long as you live. So this is important. Tools. It's like an instrument. Stethoscope, otoscope, and so forth. And again, the third, naming is very important, because by understanding the definition of names, you will be able to understand much better. So that's the, so far I told you, 3 matters. Next, I will go over with you this syllabus. And I sent to you 2 syllabus, but it says, Dear beloved students of mine, number 2. So, however, this was written earlier, and I want to make it more